Hey there, and welcome to Tucker's Test Kitchen, the only cooking show on the internet that will put a check mark next to your comment down below for the low price of $8 per month. Or for free. Just go ahead and ask. Please engage with the video, like, share, subscribe. Today we're going to offend Japanese culture by making sushi. Weird sushi. Sushi that should have never been thought of. Oh, you already read the title? Cool. I guess I'll just get on with it then. The premise is simple. All we really want to do is make sure our Thanksgiving leftovers don't go to waste. And there are only so many leftover sandwiches that you can eat in a week. What I want is a blueprint for what makes a good Thanksgiving sushi. I want to generalize these recipes and make a template so you can apply it to whatever leftovers you happen to have at your Thanksgiving feast. We're going to need a decent amount of rice. I've made a lot of sushi back in the day, so I know that I'm bad at this part. So instead of being instructional, we're just going to take a look at the competition. But before we begin, I kind of want to look more professional. You know, just in case it wasn't obvious. Blue's Best Life's recipe isn't really sushi, it's more of a hot pocket with its crescent roll outside. This one actually involves turkey, but it also involves brie cheese, which doesn't sound like Thanksgiving. Also, it wants you to include stuffing. We'll talk about why that's downright incorrect in a little bit. This one by Daily Meal is getting closer. It's the one that uses mashed potatoes as its outside. It includes turkey and cranberry sauce, but it loses me towards the end. In a small saucepan, combine the butter and soy sauce. Heat until the butter is melted. Gently whisk in the 2 pinches of all-purpose flour. Behold, soy gravy. Finally, there's this one by Closet Cooking, which was the best one I found. This one goes for turkey, cranberry sauce, mayo, avocado bill. But I think we can do better. To answer this question, we need to look at regular sushi for the answer. We're going to look at very American basic sushis, because if we try to go full Morimoto on this, we're going to get an aneurysm. The California roll, the Boston roll, the Alaska roll, the Philly roll. These are all very simple recipes, but they all share some common traits. They have a meat of some kind, a squishy fat that's a bit sweet and or savory, and something for a bright crunch. Usually cucumber, but it can be something like carrot or even asparagus. But let's think about what not to put into our roll from our potential Thanksgiving spread. First off, don't use stuffing. We're making a conglomerate of ingredients already. Putting a conglomerate into a conglomerate isn't likely to work. Bread in general, just don't. We're trying to avoid making a sandwich. And finally, desserts. I mean, just imagine it. As I've said before, I've seen 3 variations on this concept. You got rice, mashed potatoes, and Pillsbury crescent rolls. But the answer is simple. Rice. Wikipedia, the most trustworthy source in the world, defines sushi as a Japanese dish of prepared vinegared rice. So when we make these whatevers and we don't use rice at a minimum, we aren't actually making sushi. What, you want me to prove that? Fine. This is the one that includes the brie cheese and the stuffing and the turkey. And that's gonna go in the oven for about 10 to 13 minutes until they're golden brown and puffy. Get out my mashed potatoes. So I think we just wanna spread it on like this. It's cold and it's a little crumbly. Now we're gonna flip this over. All right, now for the part that I'm really bad at. And there you have it. So we're gonna make the soy gravy first just by grabbing a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of soy sauce. And to this, I'm just gonna add just a little bit of flour to thicken it up. Okay, so this one asks for a cranberry drizzle, which should just be some cranberry sauce and water blended together. I'm just gonna try to slice this into little tiny rolls. This is kind of hard to work with. I think maybe, oh no. Well, I think this could have gone better with that. Here's what it looks like. And then of course, to top it all off, we have, oh God, the soy gravy. Just a little dollop across. I don't see how soy gravy is going to save that, but I can already tell you it needs more. Soy gravy actually makes that pretty good. All right, I confess, I was a little hard on the soy gravy. The soy gravy was actually kind of good. I'm sorry. Here's one of the rolls that came out of the crescent roll experiment. We're gonna try very gently to cut them. Here, this one looks like. Then of course, we get the sweetness from the cranberry drizzle. So let's first try one without. It's okay. Let's try with the cranberry. This one just isn't good. The flavor with the cranberry against the brie, it just doesn't work. The other one, the mashed potato one, yeah, I mean, it tastes fine, but neither that nor this. It doesn't taste like sushi. Finally, we can make some real sushi. We're gonna start from Closet Cooking's recipe. I think it's a good start, and it makes sense from an ingredient perspective, except I don't have any avocado on hand. But just remember, this is a blueprint where you can replace the contents with whatever you have left over following the template we set before. This was the unfun part of this, actually rolling out the rice. I'm just gonna flop that over, place our protein down. Let's do a little scoop here. Well, a lot of the cranberry sauce squirted out the sides, and that's kind of funny. All right, let's try to get some usable slices out of this. I'm also bad at this part. I think I'm just bad at every part. That actually went a lot better than I anticipated. Here's what this looks like on the inside. The cranberry sauce is a little overpowering. I think I should use less of that, but I kind of like it. Kind of wish I had kept the soy gravy. I can't believe I'm still thinking about the soy gravy. I'll just use regular soy sauce like a human being. Damn, that's not bad. This is a really good starting point, but I think we can do better. I think we can use even more Thanksgiving things inside of this. My family would sometimes make a sweet potato casserole or some kind of sweet potato with Thanksgiving, and I think that would go really well here as a sweet note. I think this is what the avocado should be. This is the sweet kind of fatty thing in it. We just want just a little bit, I think, so as to not upset the turkey. All right. Oh no. Surgery, surgery, surgery. Let's see how it survives the cutting board. Here's what this one looks like. Nice little touch of orange. It's not as densely packed as I would have liked. Yeah, that's okay. I think I went a little too light with the cranberry sauce, but the sweet potato does add something pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and try one dipped. I can definitely taste the sweet potato, and it's good. It works in here very well, actually. But again, can we add more to this? We're missing a crunch. I mentioned asparagus earlier, and I think that would work well here. I have some leftover asparagus. Yes, I usually keep my leftovers just out of the oven on a pan. This wasn't very common in my house as a Thanksgiving side, but it might be a common side that you may have. I just want to introduce something green that isn't cucumber and something that's kind of crunchy. Okay. Still somehow cut up better than the last one, which wasn't nearly as full. Here is what it looks like. Yeah, it's almost like I didn't even put asparagus in there at all. But given that we're trying to rip off American sushi for an American holiday, why are we even trying to put something green in here? We can achieve the crunch in another way. There's one basic roll I left out of my initial list, mainly because it didn't fit in with the sequence of geography. It's the spider roll. Now the spider roll's standout feature is the deep fried soft shell crab. What if we make the turkey crispy and add cool breaded crunch that way? So to do this, I'm going to take a rather sizable hunk of turkey here. I'm going to slice it up into a little more regular strips. So we're just basically going to do a very, very simple breading, and then we're going to fry it in some butter. So basically all I want to do is just one coat on this because I don't want it to be too thick. And this is probably going to cook really fast, so be very careful and turn it. Cool, so now that we have these admittedly kind of large pieces, now that I'm looking at them all fried up and whatnot, we can go ahead and make our sushi roll. Actually, you know what? Let's cut these in half because they're really big. This one looks really promising. Here is what this one looks like. Yeah, that's it. It could stand to be refrigerated, but that's really good. I also wish it was a little crunchier, but this is the right track for sure. This is Let's try it with a little soy sauce. I think it'll be really good. Oh, the soy sauce with the, I was just about to list every ingredient, which I think means that this is good sushi. So the soy sauce plays well with the sweet potato specifically, but also the crunch of the turkey is so good. And the cranberry sauce. It all works so well. This one just takes a little bit, add a little bit of salt to it. Maybe that soy gravy. I can't stop thinking about that soy gravy. I think we found a winner here. This is a very good build made out of very low effort and also low ingredients, but they all come from the potential Thanksgiving feast. And of course you can supplement this with whatever kind of ingredients you want, following the basic architecture that we put forth. If you need some ideas for like what category things would fall into to make up a sushi roll, here's a admittedly somewhat sparse chart for just things that I could think of and how they would fit in. But heck, I mean, this is a pretty basic build and I think it worked really well. Oh, that's really good. I'm gonna eat an end now. Okay, let's go way off the rails. I realize I said don't use dessert earlier, but I really just want to know what would happen. I have some leftover pie here, or a tart, just to simulate leftover pie. And I'm going to fill the sushi with some crust, the filling, and then copy McDonald's and add a thin strip of cream cheese into it, and then eat it and understand why this was a bad idea all along. This is just a big old meme, so instead of sesame seeds, I have some nonpareils. Oh god, this is absolutely cursed. Mommy don't know Daddy's making sushi in the test kitchen, making something unholy. This is what it looks like up close, and here's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so it's bad, but I have to try another one. It's not downright disgusting. The nonpareils on the outside, I didn't really mind all that much. There's a seasoning in the pie crust on this guy that isn't good in a sushi, and the taste of the seaweed has nowhere to go, so it just kind of goes on your tongue and reminds you that it's there, which in a dessert roll you don't want. 2.5, 3 out of 10. I honestly thought it was going to be a 1, so I consider it a win. So what did we learn today? Well, Thanksgiving sushi is possible. We've seen it firsthand. It's interesting to find recipes on websites because they seem to just be out of thin air. Some of them have really bad reviews as well. And to actually try them and kind of refine a recipe and to derive a template from it, I think is really the only way to go for something as generic as Thanksgiving sushi. And I think we did that. I think as long as you follow a basic blueprint and apply what you've cooked for Thanksgiving into the sushi, then I think you're golden. And as long as you don't put anything too disgusting like, raspberry pie into your sushi, you'll be fine. I'm still kind of blown away by how the sprinkles look on there. It's kind of unsettling, actually. But yeah, we've successfully colonized sushi a second time using the detritus from the third most American holiday there is. Incredible. Happy Black Friday, everyone. Or if it even is still Black Friday, I don't know what's going on anymore. Amazon ruins everything. Sure.